Good morning, all. Welcome to another TradingView update. We're getting pretty close to all-time highs now, both on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let's take a look at what's happening. Now, the first thing to note is that just over half an hour ago, Bitcoin closed the last weekly candle at 61.5K. Now, this is the highest ever weekly close for Bitcoin. And you can see that, that the previous one was at just below 60. So we're now almost an uncharted territory. If you kind of exclude the weekly wick up to the all-time high, there's nothing really standing in Bitcoin's way. And as you can see as well, over the last 3 weeks, these green wicks have been getting bigger and bigger, showing and indicating the momentum that's starting to build. Now, that's not without its risks to the downside, and we'll cover those as well. But let's look at it on a slightly shorter time frame to see what's been happening. First thing to notice is that we had a very quick overnight move down lower to test areas of resistance. Resistance now turned to support. So we've been trading with this kind of with this upward trending resistance line, which we broke towards the end of last week. I think this was on Friday. Moved higher yesterday. We've moved lower, tested it before moving higher again. I don't think we're kind of the leverage is really starting to build now. You can see that from the funding rates. On Bitcoin, you've got the highest funding rate in place since we had the crash back in May. So getting some exchanges starting to get a little bit overheated, leverage really coming back, and that's one thing to bear in mind. On top of that, you've got the crypto and fear index, which is trading at the moment at 79, indicating extreme greed. So any kind of move lower as this liquidity or as this leverage builds up, any move lower could be exaggerated. And one thing, while we don't see it being too likely at the moment, one thing to bear in mind or to look at is this kind of key support level at 53K, which was the local top from the 6th of September. We could potentially see something like this play out where prices correct lower, test this support 53K area before moving back higher. Now, there are a couple of support levels between now and the 53K, namely one at 60 and one at 57. Let's zoom in a bit to make that a bit clearer. So all of these levels coming in to act and test as support. Only the 60K area really has been tested so far. 57K has only really been resistance. So these are the kind of main levels to look at over the next few days if we do see a move lower. If we don't and we continue to move higher, then some initial targets to look at if we break the all-time high would be as follows. The first one, let me clear this. So the first real area of resistance above the all-time high, or potential target to which prices might move to, is 68, and this is just the Fibonacci extension from the Fibonacci retracement levels that were drawn out from the June low to the September high. So the 68K is that first one, and then on a more macro level, we are looking at 74.5K essentially, where we might see an initial move towards price consolidation. Now, on Ethereum also is now almost within, or at times is really close to the all-time high. Still a little bit further to go than Bitcoin, but nonetheless in really interesting times. The local top from the 3rd of September at $4,030 is now almost within 1 to 2%. And if we break higher, then I think it's pretty clear sailing as well. We moved lower overnight very briefly. We tested that support at 3,680. Move that in. Very sharp wick down, I guess, in an attempt to try and force some liquidations to take place on the long side. The funding rates themselves on Ethereum, a little bit more constrained than on Bitcoin, so they are a little bit lower. At least you can look at how it compares to the spike that we saw at the beginning of September and the general kind of levels back in May. So we're still a little bit lower, which is good. But any sort of corrective move in Bitcoin, any large corrective move in Bitcoin would likely spill over into Ethereum and the alts as well if it is an aggressive move. For now, we're back above the 0.786 fib retracement level. So we're back above 3,810 and we're looking to move higher. As I said, the kind of support level at 3,680 we'd like to see hold. If we don't, then 3,359 is back in play. To the upside, the level of resistance that we want to break is around 3,950. Above that, we're then moving towards the all-time highs at 4,383. That's it from us. Have a good day.